Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new video in programming the finite element method using MATLAB. Now, in this video, we are going to continue improving our STR releases. It took a lot of time last time. And we are going to include the STR release in the STR line because release is a property of the line. So we need to include it in the line and we need to report it, and we need the controller to be able to apply it and remove it from said lines. Now, of course, as per usual, if you are new to this video series, then please notice that this is part of the Finite Element Method video series, which I will be linking at the top right. And if you stumbled upon this programming video and you're wondering how we even got here, then please notice that this is also part of a programming own sub-series that the playlist I will be linking also on the top right. And please notice that as per usual, our dear channel members do get access to the code itself. However, if you're not a channel member, then don't worry, because I don't hide anything. Everything I write here is gonna be the code that the channel members get. So if you write along, you are going to be just fine. So with that being said, and without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Alright, now we have our releases and we have asked the controller to define the releases, the thing that he actually has done. And now we need to apply the releases to lines and remove the releases from lines, which means now I need to access the str line file, because now from the str line, I want a release to be part of it. So I click here, I push the enter key here and give it a release. So now here a property is going to be a release. Now notice, if you come from different programming languages, then you can see the ease of MATLAB. Because for example, in C#, you can't just simply write release. You have to declare the type and then give the name of the variable. That's not the case in MATLAB. It's easier. You can define a generic value and it gets typized, if that's even a word, on runtime, which is kind of cool. However, of course, this will cause extra loads and extra effort on the compiler and on the runtime, which would suffer a little bit in the performance department. But that's a risk I'm well aware and would take, because I'm talking about scientific research here. I'm not talking about commercial use. Anyway, let's start into this. So now in the str line, I have put a release now, and I need to report the release. So here, I'm going to simply ask it if the objected release is not filled. This is a not sign. If this is not filled, so there is no object in the release, then I would say here release and give it a no release, because there is not an object. So I will ask it to tell me no release. Otherwise, there is an object, and I'm going to ask it to give me the release and give me the release name after it. Just report it. All right, fantastic. So I think we have our line ready, but what is not ready is the controller, because now I need a way of applying the release to the line and removing the release from the line. Let me collapse those functions and give us, let me just expand this one. And now basically in the release, we're still in the release region, by the way. Here, I'm going to ask for a function, and this time the function is going to be of type void. But there is no void in MATLAB. Just don't write anything, and that's type void for you. And here I would say apply release. Now by default, I must give the reference to the object, which is the controller. I don't need it for this. However, I need to give a line and I need to give a release. And in the function here, I would declare the line and tell the line to change its release to the given release. That's that. That's everything you need to do, by the way. Also, I will declare another function called delete or remove. I forgot what I'm using. Delete release. Remember, I still haven't programmed any function that removes the release from the database. The only functions that I applied are the functions that remove the release from a line object. Here, I don't need to give the release because we're going to remove it, which means line.release is going to be nothing. Let's try this in action. By the way, I did not do any checks here. I should make some more checks, because in the main, I could make this program grind to a halt by basically saying controller dot, for example, delete release, and then pass in a node. This will break the compiler because a node is not of type line, and when he tries to access the release, a node doesn't have a release, so it will break. Allow me to show you this in action. If I run the code here, you can see that there's an error. unrecognized method, property, or field, delete release. Wait, what? Oh, that's something else. I have made a mistake in writing. Let's try again. I will still get an error. Yeah, there we go. See, error in delete release line 95, which is basically this line. Line 95 is this one. And he says line.release equals nothing. And the error is, if you scroll up a little bit, let me just make it smaller here. You can see that str node doesn't have a release inside it, so it doesn't work. And that's why the error comes. Now here, I could make a check and ask, like, is the past variable of class line? If yes, then do. If no, then give a warning. But I'm not going to do that for now. Maybe for later when I polish the software, I might give those checks. For now, I will assume that the user is well versed in the finite element, and when he wants to delete a release, he's going to pass in a line, not a node. So let's try our new controller. In the controller now, I'm going to apply me some releases. And let's apply for line 1 the release pin rigid, or rigid pin, so release 3. And let's apply for the other line, line 2, I'm going to apply the release 4, which is pin. And for controller.apply release for line 3, I'm going to apply the release number 1, just for fun. And let's F5 and see how the reporting system looks. Now everything seems to be fine, it seems. I want to check the lines and how the reporting system of the lines looks. So now the line gets reported as line number 1 from node 1 to node 2. Material, section, and release is mentioned. All of them are mentioned because all of them have releases. However, I can also ask the controller to delete a release just to see what happens. Now before, it was reporting line 2 to have a release, pin, because I was applying release 4 to line 2, which is pin. Now if I run again, let's take a look on the reporting system. In the end here, I can see that line 2 has no release, exactly as it's supposed to be because I deleted it. So everything seems to be fine. So I think this is another mission accomplished and job well done, as the controller now has the ability to apply releases and remove releases from lines, and lines also hold releases and report them back to the user. So I think we have accomplished something for today's video, and that's everything I want to talk about basically. So before I finish, I want to give a finalized release sized shout out to my dear channel members in the contributor level and the helper level whose names are going to be shown on the screen. I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart, as their support of the channel is priceless to me and enables me to provide you with videos hopefully on time with a certain quality I try to achieve, and for that I am forever thankful. In the end, I hope that you enjoyed the video and you found it beneficial. If you have enjoyed the video, then please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and so on, especially subscribing, because it helps increase the reach of my channel. As per usual, this is the Civil Engineering Essentials channel, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.